coming towards the end of the first proper ride that I've had on these Hutchinson Touareg tyres. So this particular model is the 700 by 45mm, and it is the hard case. The rim I've got it on is 22mm internal, and the tyre then actually measures as 46mm. So it's quite accurate for the size given. The ride I've had now has been 65k so far, and it's been a real mix of terrain. About 60-70% off-road, 30% road. Of the road, almost all of it's been on little back lanes, some rough riding. The off-road stuff, a real mix. Again, some steep loose climbs, some fast descents, and try to pack as much as I can, much as different terrain into a ride as I can. One thing I haven't had a lot of is really muddy stuff. I had one descent which was quite muddy, and some changes in camber, but it was quite a straight down the road descent, so haven't really been able to check traction in the mud and cornering. So first of all, installation, and on these was really easy. They went onto the rim no problem at all. Maybe you might need one tyre lever at the most. You could probably, if you're used to getting on tubeless tyres, you'll get them on without using a tyre lever. And then they pumped up, no problem at all. One went straight up with a standard track pump. One needed a little bit of tweaking with the bead just to make sure it was in the right place, but that again was no problem. So in terms of installation, that was brilliant, no problem at all, no hassle. And compared to some other tyres, that's a big plus. In terms of the riding performances, positives are they ride smoothly, so they seem to roll quite fast, and they're very quiet. That's if you ever have a noisy tyre, it can be quite droning. These are very, very quiet. If you're doing long miles on the road or doing a typical ride, includes a lot of road. Other positives, grip off-road seems to be quite good, and fire roads, loose tracks, considering the depth of the tread and the close spacing of the tread, they perform better than you might expect. What is quite interesting is these tyres give a recommended pressure of 36 psi, which is quite specific. Most tyres will give a range, so they might say 30 to 50 or somewhere like that. This says 36. It is a recommendation. You don't have to install it that, but for the first ride, I figured that would be a good place to start. After that, what I will say is, I think for me, my weight, my riding, what I've been doing, this needs to be lower. I've found them to be quite harsh off-road, both on road where you maybe wouldn't expect it, especially on this bike, which has got the Lauf, which should help the comfort. And yeah, that was quite a surprise at how uncomfortable or how much vibration was coming through to the bars. Having tried lots of different other tyres, it's not something that you normally get. Another thing to consider is the weight, and especially if you're the type of person who looks at weights and what they should be. So quoted weights for this tyre, 550 grams plus or minus 7%, which I think works out to it's just under 50 grams difference. These two tyres, one has measured 635, one has measured 640, so both of that is well above the 7% tolerance that you've got. So they are a relatively heavy tyre, and it is well above the quoted weight. That said, these are the hardline tyres, and this is one that has extra puncture resistance. So if you're the type of rider who's looking for a tyre which can handle a lot of different terrain, and you don't want punctures, so maybe bikepacking, adventure riding, long distance stuff, this could be a potentially good choice. It's early days. We're actually going out bikepacking tomorrow, so it'll be interesting to see how these might then cope. I'll be honest, given the weight, given how they ride, if I get any punctures on anything that's not extreme terrain, I'd be disappointed. The plan now is to do some more riding, a lot more variety. We're going bike packing, so we can do some loaded riding. I'm going to fiddle with the bike pressures a bit as well, try some really muddy riding, see how we get on, and report back and give an idea of this tyre overall.